Welcome again to Gilbert and Sullivan Radio Theatre from your host, Jerry Tracy. In each segment, we present music and dialogue highlights from the 14 comic opera masterpieces of Gilbert and Sullivan in chronological order. Our musical excerpts are taken from the truly gargantuan Gilbert and Sullivan Radio Theater Collection.
Gargantuan.
Look under G.
G. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Wow.
Good. And include great classic performances from the past as well as modern performances. The dialogue excerpts are performed by our own KBCS players. Hello. Hopefully the rest of your little friends will find their way here out of their trunk in time to join us,
They let me out to play.
I'm glad they did. Welcome. In this segment, we turn to the third Gilbert and Sullivan collaboration, a tale of love potions and laughable mismatches, The Sorcerer. There are 2 acts full of dialogue and song, so let's begin without further ado. Our curtain rises on the chorus of villagers who live in tiny Ploverley, set in the bucolic pasturages of rural England. There we see Sir Marmaduke Poindexter's impressive Elizabethan mansion.
Wow, that's neat.
In their opening chorus, the villagers announce that Sir Marmaduke's son, handsome young Alexis,
Thank you, sir.
is to be betrothed to the lovely Aline Saint-Gazur.
Sir, you make me blush.
Ring forth, ye bells! But not everyone is happy in Ploverley today. Mrs. Partlet, the pew opener in Dr. Daly's church, sees that her young daughter, Constance, is not at all happy.
Constance, my daughter, why this strange depression? The village rings with seasonable joy because the young and amiable Alexis, heir to the great Sir Marmaduke Poindexter, is plighted to Arline, the only daughter of Annabella, Lady Saint-Gazur. You alone are sad and out of spirits. What is the reason? Speak, my daughter, speak.
Oh, Mummy, do not ask. If my complexion from red to white should change in quick succession, and then from white to red, oh, take no notice. If my poor limbs should tremble with emotion, pay no attention, Mummy, it's nothing. If long in deep-drawn sighs I chance to utter, oh, heed them not, their cause must ne'er be known.
Mrs. Partlet presses her daughter to know the identity of her beloved.
Come, tell me all about it. Do not fear. I too have loved, but that was long ago. Who is the object of your young affection?
Hush, Mummy, he's here.
Oh, Reverend Vicar.
Oh, pity me, my heart is almost broken.
My child, be comforted. To such an union I shall not offer any opposition. Take him, he's yours. May you and he be happy.
But, Mummy, dear, he's not yours to give.
That's true indeed.
He might object.
He might. But come, take heart. I'll probe him on the subject.
Oh.
Be comforted. Leave this affair to me.
The kindly Dr. Daly enters, reading, or rather trying to read, his book of sermons. But his heart is on matters of love and on bygone days, as he sings in this lovely ballad.
3.
Good day, Reverend Sir.
Ah, good, Mrs. Partlet. I am glad to see you, and your little daughter, Constance. Why, she is quite a little woman, I declare.
Oh, Mummy, I cannot speak to him.
Yes, Reverend Sir. She is nearly 18. and as good a girl as ever stepped. Sir, I'm afraid I shall soon lose her.
Dear me, you pain me very much. Is she delicate?
Oh, no, sir, I don't mean that. But young girls look to get married.
Oh, I take you, to be sure. But there's plenty of time for that. 4 or 5 years hence, Mrs. Partlet, 4 or 5 years hence. But when the time does come, I shall have much pleasure in marrying her myself to some strapping young fellow in her own rank of life.
He does not love me.
Shh. I have often wondered, Reverend Sir, if you'll excuse the liberty, that you have never married.
Oh, sure, be still my fluttering
A
heart.
clergyman's wife does so much good in a village. Besides that, you're not as young as you were, and before very long you will want somebody to nurse you and look after your little comforts.
Mrs. Partlet, there is much truth in what you say. I am indeed getting on in years, and a helpmate would cheer my declining days. Time was when it might have been, but I've left it too long. I am an old fogey now, and am I not, my dear?
I like wrinkles.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, but I'm a very old fogey indeed. No, Mrs. Partlet, my mind is quite made up. I shall live and die a solitary old bachelor.
Oh, Mummy, bring me a knife.
Come, dear one, don't fret. At a more fitting time, we will try again. We will try again.
Poor little girl. I'm afraid she has something on her mind. She is rather comely. If time was when this old heart would have throbbed in double time at the sight of such a fairy form. But tush, I'm puling. Oh, here comes the young Alexis with his proud and happy father. Let me dry this telltale tear.
That's fine.
Sir Marmaduke and Alexis discuss the approaching ceremony.
Come, my son. Your fiancée will be here in 5 minutes. Rouse yourself to receive her.
Oh, rapture!
Yes, you are a fortunate young fellow, and I will not disguise from you that this union with the House of Saint-Azur realizes my fondest wishes. Aline is rich, and she comes of a sufficiently old family, for she is the 7,037th in direct descent from Helen of Troy.
Oh, yes.
True, there was a blot on the escutcheon of that lady, that affair with Paris, but where is the family, other than my own, in which there is no flaw? You are a lucky fellow, sir, a very lucky fellow.
Father, I am welling over with limpid joy. No sicklying taint of sorrow overlies the lucid lake of liquid love upon which hand in hand Aline and I are to float into eternity.
Alexis, I desire that of your love for this young lady you do not speak so openly. You are always singing ballads in praise of her beauty, and you expect the very menials who wait behind your chair to chorus your ecstasies.
A one and a two.
It is not delicate.
Father, a man who loves as I love.
Fool, sir. 50 years ago, I madly loved your future mother-in-law, the Lady Saint-Azur, and I have reason to believe that she returned my love. But were we guilty of the indelicacy of publicly rushing into each other's arms, exclaiming, "Oh, my adored one, beloved boy!" Ecstatic rapture, unmingled joy, which seems to be the modern fashion of love-making. No! It was, "Madame, I trust you are in the enjoyment of good health. Sir, you are very vastly polite. I protest I am mighty well," and so forth. Much more delicate, much more respectful. But see, Aline approaches. Let us retire that she may compose herself for the interesting ceremony in which she is to play so important a part.
Okay, this way.
Aline's mother, the widowed Lady Saint-Azur, expresses the mixture of joy and sorrow which she feels this day.
My child, I join in these congratulations. Heed not the tear that dims this aged eye. Old memories crowd upon me. Though I sorrow, 'tis for myself, Aline, and not for thee.
Alexis leaps on stage, embraces his Aline, and the happy young couple walk hand in hand off stage, leaving Sir Marmaduke, Lady Sangazure, and an awkward silence, which Sir Marmaduke fills by a stately bow and formal song. In asides, the couple express their fervent but repressed passion for one another. The formal betrothal ritual is officiated by the old town notary, who seals the marriage contract with a flourish.
There! The deed is done! Now where did my shiny seal get off to?
The townspeople discreetly exit, leaving our favorite couple alone to discuss their intimate and tender plans.
At last we are alone. Oh, my darling, you are now very irrevocably betrothed to me. Are you not very, 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 very happy?
Oh, Alexis, can you doubt it? Do I not love you beyond all on earth? And am I not beloved in return? Is not true love faithfully given and faithfully returned the source of every earthly joy?
Of that there can be no doubt. Oh, that the world could be persuaded of the truth of that maxim. Oh, that the world could break down the artificial barriers of rank, wealth, education, age, beauty, habits, taste, and temper, and recognize the glorious principle that in marriage alone is to be found the panacea for every ill.
Continue to preach that sweet doctrine and you will succeed, O evangel of true happiness.
I hope so. But as yet, the progress moves slowly. Still, I have made some converts to the principle that men and women should be coupled in matrimony without distinction of rank. I have lectured on the subject at mechanics' institutes, and the mechanics were unanimous in favor of my views. I have preached in workhouses, beer shops, and lunatic asylums, and I have been received with enthusiasm. I have addressed navies on the advantage that would accrue them if they married wealthy ladies of rank, and not a navvy descended.
Noble fellows, and yet there are those who hold that the uneducated classes are not open to argument. And what do the countesses say?
Why, at present it can't be denied the aristocracy hold aloof.
The working man is the true intelligence after all.
He is a noble creature when he is quite sober. Yes, Aline, true happiness comes of true love, and true love should be independent of external influences. It should live upon itself, and by itself. In itself, love should live for love alone. I love that love.
Yes, Alexis.
I love it.
Alexis, we'll take that song a bit later.
Later?
A bit later. Alexis announces his intentions to test his theory that true love should rise above petty considerations of wealth and rank. He tells Aline that he intends to visit the firm of John Wellington Wells and Company, an old established firm of family sorcerers.
Just about to say that.
He will buy from the sorcerer Wells a love filter or love potion and secretly distribute it throughout the village. Aline expresses her reservations.
You can't be serious.
But Alexis is steadfast.
Nay, Aline, I am steadfast.
Together, they approach the establishment of John Wellington Wells. Mr. Wells greets them from his tent.
Good day, sir.
Good day. I believe you are a sorcerer.
Yes, sir. We practice necromancy in all its branches. We've a choice assortment of wishing caps, divining rods, amulets, charms, and counter-charms. We can cast a nativity at a low figure, and we have a horoscope at 3 and 6 that we can guarantee. Our Abuda chests, each containing a patent hag who comes out and prophesies disasters, with spring complete, are strongly recommended. Our Aladdin lamps are very chaste, and our prophetic tablets foretelling everything, from a change of ministry down to a rise in unified, are much inquired for. Our penny curse, one of the cheapest things in the trade, is considered infallible. We have some very superior blessings, too, but they're very little asked for. We've only sold one since Christmas, to a gentleman who bought it to send to his mother-in-law. But it turned out that he was afflicted in the head, and it's been returned. But our sale of penny curses go particularly well with some fava beans and a dry Chianti.
With that, the sorcerer commences his celebrated patter song.
I have sent for you to consult you on a very important matter. I believe you advertise a patent oxyhydrogen love at first sight filter?
Sir, it is our leading article.
Now, I want to know if you can confidently guarantee it as possessing all the qualities you claim for it in your advertisement?
Sir, we are not in the habit of puffing our goods. Ours is an old established house with a large family connection, and every assurance held out in the advertisement is fully realized.
Oh, Alexis, don't offend him. He'll change us into something dreadful. I know he will.
Yes, all right, dear. I am anxious from purely philanthropical motives to distribute the filter, secretly, among the inhabitants of this village. I shall, of course, require a quantity. How do you sell it?
When buying in quantity, sir, we would strongly advise you to take it in the wood, and drawing it off as you happen to want it. We have it in 4.5 and 9-gallon casks, also in pipes and hogsheads for laying down, and we deduct 10% for prompt cash.
I should mention that I am a member of Army and Navy stores.
In that case, we deduct 25%.
Oh, goody. Aline, the villagers will assemble to carouse in a few minutes. Go and fetch the teapot.
But Alexis!
My dear, you must obey me, if you please. Go and fetch the teapot.
I'm sure Dr. Daly would disapprove of it.
Silly girl. And how soon does it take effect?
In 12 hours, whoever drinks of it loses consciousness for that period, and on waking falls in love, as a matter of course, with the first lady he meets who has also tasted it, and his affection is at once returned. One trial will prove the fact.
Good. Oh, there's Aline with the teapot. Mr. Wells, I shall feel obliged if you will at once pour as much filter into this teapot as will suffice to affect the whole village.
But bless me, Alexis, many of the villagers are married people.
Madam, this filter is compounded on the strictest principles. On married people it has no effect whatever. But are you quite sure that you have the nerve enough to carry you through the fearful ordeal?
In the good cause, I fear nothing.
Very good, then. We will proceed at once with the incantation.
Sprites of earth and air, fiends of flame and fire.
The stage grows light again. Mr. Wells beckons the villagers, who enter dancing joyously. Mrs. Partlet and Mr. Wells distribute the fatal teacups. In this, the finale to Act 1, Sir Marmaduke invites the assembly to enjoy themselves, and a proud Dr. Daly discloses his secret scientific formula for brewing a stiff jorum of tea. Little does he know that this tea is the strongest he has ever brewed. It becomes evident by the strange conduct of the characters that the charm is working. All rub their eyes and stagger about the stage. Those who have partaken of the love potion struggle in vain against its effects and fall insensible on the stage. Join us next time when we turn to the conclusion of The Sorcerer.